Guys, welcome back to my YouTube video. My name is issa.elassal, and today we are going to be talking about a fantastic concept. And today's topic of discussion is you need to protect your energy to achieve success. Now, I've said this multiple times in all my videos. The world we live in is spiritual and it's energetic. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It has to be transmutated. It has to be moved somewhere, right? And as humans, we are just a ball of energy. Centrally, our nervous system, everything is all electronic. Everything is all, it's energy, right? We're literally like a beacon of light. And that's why I always say that our purpose in this world is to create. Because truly, when you're a beam of energy, you have to use that energy in ways to create the life that you want or to make other people's life or whatever you want to do in this world. It takes up energy. Interactions with people takes up energy. Going to the gym takes energy. Getting on a diet, being mentally strong, tough, doing all this stuff, going to work, going to class. These are all things that take energy, right? If we weren't energetic beings, then we wouldn't get tired at all. We would just be regular living people, I guess, docile, right? So, why is it that you hear a lot of manifestation gurus or spiritual teachers say you need to protect your energy? Well, as I stated before, we have a limited amount of energy throughout a day, even throughout our lifetime. And the truth of the matter is, guys, energy, especially if you're not necessarily spiritual or you're not necessarily tapped in, you feel the energy regardless, right? It's just a natural human instinct, right? I'll give you an example. You know, when you're around very negative people, that could sometimes be very emotionally draining, or when you're at work at a meeting or you're at a college lecture or a school lecture and honestly you just don't want to be there and you sit through it and you're tired, you start to, your eyes start to droop down, you just don't want to be there, or you're in a sports team and the coach is just he's a bad person and he's unmotivating and he just yells at you, stuff like that. You feel mentally drained, you feel mentally exhausted, and you don't want to be there. You don't have that energy and kick for life. That is not like some mistake. No, that is your energy being depleted. So when we talk about conserving your energy, when we talk about protecting your energy, it's not necessarily resting and sleeping and doing all that. What we mean is, what I mean at least, is put yourself in situations where you can be successful and where you want to be. So I've highlighted four key points in terms of protecting your energy because again, energy is not just it's not just about resting when you're protecting it. No, it's about doing things actively and using your energy in a way where it will benefit not only yourself but other people as well, right? To lead you more into greater success. So the first thing you have to understand when it comes to energy, this is the first point, is that success requires constant focus. Focus in general, I know in my generation, Gen Z, I'm only going to speak for my generation, but we consistently lack focus. That's the truth of the matter. We get distracted easily, especially when it comes to scrolling on your phone, with TikTok, with watching YouTube, all these different things. We are consistently distracted, right? And focus now is something that we have to consistently work on, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of willpower. But here's the thing, guys, all the high achievers in whatever field that they are successful in are very, very good at focus. They can focus on a specific task for a certain amount of time or a specific goal for a certain amount of time. Now, if you're consistently distracted or you're around people that are negatively trying to bring you down, saying that it's you can't do this, that, you're going to get depleted. Your energy is going to get depleted and you're not going to be able to concentrate and focus because focusing on something, especially when you focus intensely on something, you start to notice the little details. You start to notice opportunities that you didn't notice before. And when you notice those opportunities and when you notice those little details, things start to change, things start to happen, and you notice gaps where you can change a specific industry or maybe where you can improve or maybe where you can help someone. These are things that as humans, we are gifted at having, right? This ability to kind of be in the present moment and focus on a specific thing and notice the details, right? And I think when you are around negative people, you cannot do that. You can't. It's almost impossible. So being consistently focused is truly something where it comes to protecting your energy. You have to tailor your focus towards whatever you want to do, whatever you want to accomplish, and essentially just put yourself out there, man. You know, and don't focus on the wrong things. Don't focus on the wrong people, because negativity, that's a killer. It is. It kills you, man. It kills you over time. And, you know, again, I always say this, but we have limited amount of energy. We have limited amount of focus, attention span throughout the day. So use it wisely. The second point, big point, is decision making improves. Now, when you are mentally exhausted, when you're physically exhausted, spiritually, emotionally, and you're just drained, your decision making is not the best. You're not sharp at all. I say it like this, and I use sports a lot in my videos because it's just easier to comprehend. But for those of you guys that played sports, or maybe went to the gym and done a hard lifting session or a running session, or just you exercise or whatever, that feeling after, I'll use soccer for an example. If you're a soccer player and you play a 90-minute game, especially if you played in the heat, and you play against a good team, or maybe you play in a final and there's a lot of stress, the coach is yelling at you, the fans are yelling at you, there's a lot of like external things going on, and then internally you're nervous. That's a lot of stress on the body and on the mind. After the game, you are completely depleted. After a soccer game, you are completely emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. You just don't want to do anything, right? You don't have that energy. You want to eat whatever you want to eat, and you want to sleep. And then especially in the game, when you get tired, especially towards the end of the game, mentally your decision making is horrible. It's not as good as it used to be. It's not as sharp. So you start to make bad decisions, you start to make bad passes, you start to lose the ball, this and that. That's the same thing when it comes to just life in general. Decision making, when you're mentally not focused, or not mentally not focused, but like mentally tired because of all the distractions, because of all the negativity that's basically sucking out your energy, depleting your energy. You're not going to be sharp. You're not going to be able to see things that other people can't see. You're not going to be able to do the task that you want to do at 100%. So again, that's another reason. Energy depletion, right? It equals procrastination, and you end up reacting emotionally to things, right? So you have to keep your energy in check. Don't be around those negative people. Don't waste your energy away. Keep it in check so your judgment stays sharp. Third point I want to talk about is burnout, because burnout destroys momentum. And I'll tell you this, guys, and I'll make a video about momentum, because momentum is a big thing, and I think it leads to success very, very well. It's something that you need to build up to lead to success. But momentum is something that every successful person really talks about. What is being momentum? To me, building momentum is being in like a flow state. You are consistently doing kind of the same things, like habits. You're consistently doing the same thing at a accelerated pace to a point where it feels natural. That is momentum. And momentum is very, very important if you want to get big success, because momentum is compounded success, which leads to a bigger rise, a bigger overnight success type of situation. And when you're burned out from all the energy just getting depleted and sucked out, you don't have any momentum because you're not consistent, right? Your schedule is messed up. You train here, you go to sleep here, you go to work, you eat here, everything is all tossed up. There's no structure. And when you don't have structure, it's very hard to really settle down and be creative, because creativity, what I've learned, is it is created when there is structure. Why? Because when there is structure, you don't have to think about the other stuff. The other stuff is like, going to class, this. You just kind of do it. And when you do it and you don't think about it, that leaves more energy, more room for you to think about creativity, to think about other stuff, to Think about how you can study for a test more creative. How can you present a project more creatively? Maybe you're doing like me, like YouTube or social media. It leaves room for creativity to inspire because again, there's like no tension. You're just in that flow. You're in that movement. So that is very very important. So burnout, losing your energy, that destroys momentum. And then the last point, and it goes back to the creativity. Creativity needs space. So innovation, it rarely happens during a period of chaos. Innovation happens when someone is kind of just focused on what they're doing. I'll give an example. Sylvester Stallone, one of the greatest actors, one of the greatest directors of all time, when he created Rocky, he was in his room for 3 days writing the script for Rocky. And he created it in 3 days. After years and years of, failure and this and that. But in those 3 days, he put all his energy. He apparently he painted his windows black so he didn't know the day or what time it was. He sold his dog. He did all this stuff. He eliminated all his distractions and he focused primarily on writing the script of Rocky. Now that is something where obviously it's an extreme. I highly don't recommend it, but that is a perfect example of someone cultivating all their energy and time that they would put to other stuff and putting it all onto the script for Rocky. And because of it, he got famous, he got all these roles, and now he is who he is in today's world because of that energy, that sacrifice that he made when writing that script. And the thing is creativity. He was basically in the room by himself because creativity happens when the person is in a controlled environment. When you're at peace with yourself, when you're at peace with everyone else, right? In sports, for an example, creativity happens when a person is in flow state. When it's almost like everything that they're doing is rehearsed. Everything they're doing is this, but it's controlled, right? Obviously, in a game, you can't control a lot of stuff. You can't control, the opponent, how they kind of play, this and that. But what you can control is you in the present moment. And people that are creative are very good at being in the present moment and focusing their energy inwardly. And that expresses into creativity and confidence, right? So protecting your energy leads to creative endeavors and it leads to the best of the best essentially succeeding because they're able to put out all this energy into the world because they've basically harnessed it, focused it, internalized it, and now they're outwardly expressing it. So again, guys, protecting your energy gives you your mind space to think, reflect, and create, right? I don't know about you, but I'm someone that like I'll go out with my friends or I'll train and stuff, but I need a lot of alone time. I need kind of like I feel like I need more recharge time than a lot of people, right? Like there are days where I'll like today for an example. Today is considered my rest day. I train hard for 6 days in the week. Say Sunday, I'm gonna rest. I go to the calf. I'm mostly in my room doing my laundry. I'm more to myself, right? I take the whole day to myself and I rest and I sleep and I eat. It's just something that I'm comfortable in. And tomorrow is like a gradual increase leading into Tuesday, and then it's a full expenditure of energy with classes and stuff like that. But some people take more rest, and for me, creativity happens. That's when I get my best ideas for videos. That's when I'm the most creative, is when I'm by myself and I'm thinking. I love my alone time, and I need it. And if you're someone like that, take that alone time because I'm telling you, protecting your energy, conserving it, it's gonna benefit you. It really will. You'll have more energy out in the public when it's time to go, right? Like I said, there's always a time and place for everything. There's a season for everything. When you break things down into seasons, there's always a time for everything, right? So when it's time to rest, protect your energy. Anyway, guys, those were my 4 key points. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a longer one today, but I feel like this is a concept that people really, really need. Protect yourself. Stay away from negativity. Stay away from those demons, those devils. Be the light that shines above the darkness. Stay positive. Stay away from negativity. If it doesn't serve you, don't even entertain it. Walk away. Hold yourself to a higher standard and be great and focus. And I'm telling you guys, stay headstrong, be emotionally strong, follow your dreams, keep pushing because I know you will be successful. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Click the links. All my socials, all my promo codes are down in the description below. And again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.